morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, it is time to look at the most expensive, valuable, call them what you will cards from Eevee Heroes. Now, Eevee Heroes is a set which has just gone and dropped over in Japan. It has proven to be phenomenally popular. Several people, myself included, have had their online pre-orders cancelled. And it is, frankly, being scalped pretty fantastically over online, which is a little bit sad. But I did do a couple of openings. The lovely Antoine Boulet hooked us up. They are on the channel. You can check them out right now. And I might have found a lead to get hold of some more product as well, which is kind of awesome. But of course, with the Eevee Hero set, as with every Japanese set, you buy a booster box, you are guaranteed one secret rare. Now remember, in Japan, secret rare has a wider definition than it does in the English sets. That is to say, it does include alternate art Pokemon Vs, and your full art Pokemon and supporters. They are secret rares in Japan, they are not secret rares over here. We only really count gold, rainbow, and alternate art VMAXs. So with all of that borne in mind, let's take a little bit of a look. Now, number one is, it's the alternate art. It's the Umbreon VMAX, right? Everyone knew it was going to be the Umbreon VMAX. I don't think that's particularly surprising at this stage. Now, this was tweeted out by cardrush_online, and I do need to give a little bit of a caveat here. Don't rely too much on these numbers, because we're talking about somewhere over in Japan where singles generally tend to be a little bit cheaper, but also it's one place, and I think these might be slightly higher than some other places. So just little pinch of salt, ladies and gentlemen, all right? Yes, Umbreon VMAX is number one, and by a little bit of a margin. I don't think that is a controversial statement. However, when I tell you it is 69,800 yen, which is a huge amount of money, take the specific figure with a pinch of salt. You have been warned. Now, if we go and convert that into currencies that the majority of you watching use on a more regular basis, we are talking £450 or $640. I'm rounding to the nearest 10 because that's a lot of money. This is a fantastically valuable card. Antoine told me I had somewhere in the region of a 1.5% chance of pulling it from my box. I did not pull it from my box, and frankly, if you want this card, and there are a few others on the ridiculous level, the rule is very simple. You've either got to get very lucky pulling it from a box, or you've got to just pay over the odds. You aren't going to pick up a random Umbreon VMAX alternate art cheaply. You're not going to find one on a website that nobody else noticed. You're not going to have a friend who doesn't want it that's going to sell it to you undervalue. You are going to have to pay for this bad boy. Now, remember, it is, of course, a very, very playable card. It's got the same ability as the old Lycanroc GX. So it is actually going to see a whole bunch of play in a whole bunch of decks, as well as being the most popular evolution and having absolutely stunning artwork. It is absolutely no surprise. There are three things that go into affecting the price of a card, and that is the art, the Pokemon, and the playability. And this is off the charts in terms of all three of them. If we stick with the really high values, it probably won't surprise you to know that it is the alternate art VMAXs. So the alternate art Sylveon VMAX comes in at 54,800 yen, which is almost dead on 500 US dollars, or about 350 pounds. It's not terribly surprising. The alternate art Glaceon, there is then a little bit of a dip. That goes down to 39,800. So you are talking somewhere in the region of $360 or £260. And then Leafeon is the lowest among them, although only a tiny bit lower than the Glaceon. It's coming in at 37,800 yen, so about $345 or about £245. And look, this is probably to be expected, because the fact of the matter is, these VMAXs are extremely rare. There are only 4 alternate art VMAXs in the set. Remember, only 4 of the VMAXs are actually in the set. The other 4 are in the special pack. So, Put very simply, there are 4 of them. They are exceedingly rare. They are exceedingly cool. And people are going to be all over them. It really is as simple as that. They are very cool, very sought after cards. The art on all of them are absolutely amazing. And it is just pushing the value right up. If you're opening a box of Eevee Heroes, and I am hoping to do 1 or 2 more openings on this channel in the next week or 2, that's what you want to be opening. Now, like I've said, the chance for each of them is apparently about 1.5%. So if you were to open 200 boxes, you would expect to open 3 of these cards. And there's 4 different ones, which is kind of terrifying. So yeah, if you want these, you're going to have to pay. It is a pretty clear Umbreon number 1, Sylveon number 2, and then the other 2 are pretty gosh darn close. Now, there is a weird anomaly coming in here, in that we should be looking for the alternate art Pokemon Vs, and to a large extent we are. However, just jumped in before them, we've got the Rainbow Rare Sylveon VMAX. Rainbow Rare Sylveon VMAX, and Sylveon is apparently a Pokemon people are very much after. You're talking 21,800 yen, which is coming in at $200 or £140. And that is significantly higher than any of the other Rainbow VMAX Pokemon. Like, the next highest is your Umbreon VMAX, which is coming in at 10,800, but you're talking about $100 or £70. It's really not even particularly close. And then you've got Leafeon and Glaceon coming in just 1,000 yen and then another 1,000 yen below. There is a pretty big difference between Sylveon and the others. Sylveon is apparently a Pokemon people want the card of. Although, like I've said, Umbreon is, well, certainly the VMAX is more playable, so that's a little bit strange. In terms of the alternate art Pokemon V, which are of course a lot less rare than the VMAX, although still you should only expect 1 of any of the cards. All the cards I'm talking about here, you should expect 1 of any of these coming around in 1 booster box. Although to be fair, the booster box is only retail for like $45 over in Japan. It's just you got to pay the getting it over here, and then most people selling in the US, Europe, etc. at this stage are they're inflating the price. I mean, literally in the UK, boxes of Sword and Shield 6 were being sold for about £55. I am seeing the same people who are selling boxes of Eevee Heroes for £85 or more. And I know they want to shout supply and demand, and on the one hand, there is an element of that, but if you think about that for even a second, it actually falls apart pretty quickly, because these kind of Facebook sellers are getting in, 40 boxes, as an example. They had 40 boxes of Sword and Shield 6, they sold them all at £55. They're getting 40 boxes of Eevee Heroes. Well, you sold out of the last one, so why didn't you up the price of those? It is literally, we can charge more, so we will be really careful trying to buy Eevee Heroes product. I might do a ranty video about this one later in the week. Let me know if you'd be up for that. But just be very careful. An awful lot of people are doing 50 to 100% markup on this set, even though they're getting the same amount of product they got for previous sets, and they paid the same price. They are just trying to scrape extra profit off you because they think they can. So do be careful. So going to the alternate art Vs then, these are much, much closer together in terms of value. Number 1 is still Umbreon, comes in at 21,800 yen, which is exactly what we just saw for the Rainbow Rare Sylveon. So you're talking $200 or £140. The next highest, we are seeing we're seeing Sylveon V, and I think Sylveon V is amazing. It's got that ability that lets you search for an item card, but it ends your turn, and the artwork is pretty stunning. So we're coming in there at $170 or £120. What's really sad is that I pull the regular and the full art Sylveon V, so now I feel like I need to get this to complete my collection, but I don't have £120 to drop on a Sylveon V. And to be honest, if I'm buying from outside of Japan, I'm probably going to have to spend a little bit more money than that. It's then all pretty close. You know, you got the Espeon at 1,000 less, you got your Glaceon at the same price, you've got your Leafeon 1,000 less than that, and you got your Flareon 1,000 less than that, and your Jolteon and Vaporeon coming in at 13,800. So those two are coming in at the bottom, but even then you're talking $125 or £90. So they're far more grouped up together. Now, I don't intend going through every other single card here because it's going to take a very long time to do so, but I do want to point out a couple of interesting things. The full art Aroma Lady actually comes in higher than the vast majority of the cards, except for the alternate arts and a couple of random ones. The full art Aroma Lady is coming in at 8,980 yen. So you're talking about $80 or £60, somewhere in that region. And that is pretty gosh darn high. Once again, the Rainbow Rare is nowhere near as sought after. People have decided at this stage very clearly, although I have been saying it all along, the Rainbow Rares are not as cool as the full arts. The Rainbow Rare, you're talking $32 or £22. It's not even close. It's less than half the value of the full art. Now, the Inteleon Gold, that is still attracting a decent amount of value here. You're talking 6,480 yen. So you're talking about $60 or about £40, which is kind of nice. And if we look at the full art Pokemon, Sylveon's number one. So there is a real fight between Sylveon and Umbreon for the most expensive cards here. I mean, to be fair, Umbreon's coming in 1,000 yen less. They're pretty close. But Sylveon is the number one here at 5,980 yen, which is coming in around about $55 or £38. So this is kind of cool. I mean, this is the Secret Rare that I pulled in my particular box. So I am frankly kind of delighted about that. If we look at the other full art Pokemon, outside of your Sylveon and Umbreon, they are all grouped together quite nicely at around about 2,500 yen. I mean, we've got the Glaceon starting at 2,780, going down to the Vaporeon at 2,480. So, I mean, the last three there are 2,480, 2,480 yen. And there you're talking about $23 or £16. So we are getting into far more reasonable territory here. Now, Vigor Shake I do find kind of interesting. Vigor Shake is up there around about the more expensive of the full arts at 4,480 yen. So even though it's a gold item, it's not one of the evolutions we really want to pull. You know, you're talking about $40 or £30. So that is not too bad. That's not a terrible one to pull. Now, if you're wondering what the worst secret rare to pull is, there are 32 options. You are going to pull one of those 32 cards. Occasionally, you might get a second, but you're going to pull one in your box. It's Rainbow Rare Gordy, and I was joking about this the whole time I was doing the opening with Antoine. This is not a card you want to pull from your box. It's coming in at 1,180 yen, so you're talking $11 or £8. You do not want to open a box and your secret rare is Rainbow Rare Gordy, when it could be one of these evolutions. I mean, goodness gracious me. If you do ever put a percentage on it, Rainbow Rare Gordy is worth 1.7% of the alternate art Umbreon VMAX. It really is not even a little bit close. The good news is, if all you want to do is pick up the evolutions, they're cheap. Like, Umbreon's a lone exception, we'll get there in a moment, but the other five, you're going from Sylveon at 580 yen down to Espeon at 280. But even your Sylveon with 580, and I've told you how much I love the ability on Sylveon, you're talking $5.29 or £3.73. They are not expensive cards. Umbreon does come in as the lone exception here. It's 1,380 yen. And partly it's because it evolves into the VMAX, which is a very, very cool card. And partly it's because it is Umbreon and people love Umbreon. but that's coming in at like $13 or about £9, so it's still not a terribly expensive card, although if you do want to complete the set, that is a one you're going to be paying slightly over the odds for. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Not every single card from the set, not all the secret rares, that would take far too long, but a nice little overview of the kind of cards you want to be pulling and the kind of values associated with them. Like I said, take the specific values with a pinch of salt. I'm not trying to tell you exactly what these are going to be selling for when they come over here. I'm trying to give you a rough idea of value over in Japan at the moment. These are very likely to be part of Evolving Skies. I've done that video explaining why they are. And again, we'll see when they come over here in terms of where the value comes in. And by the time we get to that set, we're going to have the Rayquaza VMAX, which presumably is going to be getting an alternate art, which is probably going to go a little bit silly as well. But we're not quite there, ladies and gentlemen. We'll talk about that when we've actually seen the card. For now, I want to know what you think about this. I want to know which of these cards you want to get. I want to know if you were opening a box, which one would you want to be opening? Let me know in the comment section, would you? Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.